If I was starting photography again in 2025, here's some things that I would do. What's up everybody, it's Brian. Welcome back to Night Owl Photography. If I was starting photography again here in 2025, here's the things that I would do. First thing I would do is obviously I would worry about the camera. The camera is the backbone of photography. This is where I would spend the money. If you listen to anybody else, they're gonna say, oh, buy an old camera, buy a cheap used camera. You can do that, but then after a year, you're gonna be spending all the money to get another camera. So spend all your money on the camera right away. I'm not saying get the brand new model that just came out. You definitely wanna stay with a newer camera. You don't wanna get a camera that came out 15 years ago because there's a lot more useful things in the cameras that we got nowadays, and just trust me. If you buy a camera now that's cheap and old, a couple months to a year, you're going to be spending the money to get the new camera anyway. So just start off by getting a new camera and just save yourself the hassle. Now, brand, that's all personal. You got Nikon, Sony, Canon, Leica. It's all personal preference. They're all good in their own way. If you asking me, I'm going to tell you to go with the Sony. I'm going to tell you to go with the Sony a7 IV or Sony a7R5. Those are great cameras, and that's what I would do. I would go off of one of them, and I would buy one of them if I was starting in 2025. The next thing you want to do is you want to learn the camera. You want to learn the menu. You want to learn all the buttons. You want to learn the customizing of the buttons, and just learn the camera. And then on top of learning the camera, you want to start learning about the fundamentals, the basics of photography. You don't want to learn the triangle. You're going to want to learn about the ISO, the aperture, and your shutter, as all those things work together. You change one, you got to change the other too. It's a puzzle. Move one gear, the other gear turns. They all work together. So you want to learn about that. Apart from the camera, you want to figure out what lens you want. So when you're deciding on lenses, you've got to figure out what focal length do you want. Do you want a 35? Do you want a 50? Do you want a 24-70, a 70-200? All these lenses are perfect for their own thing. They're useful in many ways. One's not better than the other. Are there favorites? Yes. My favorite is a 35. I love the 85. I love the 24-70. I love them all. I really love my 35. I can't get away from my 35. That's pretty much stays on my camera all the time. And then I gotta convince myself to put my 24-70 on, or my 50, but that's a different story. I would say to start out, get a 35 or get a 50. And then once you start getting money in, get a 24-70 or get an 85. But I would say definitely start out with a 35 or a 50. That's my opinion. Definitely a prime lens, so that way you're moving around and you're able to be creative. Because if you just get a zoom lens, then you're gonna stay in one spot, and you don't want to get that habit. So get a prime lens and move around, be creative. And a lot of people ask me, what I did when I started, and I did this before I did anything else, and that's learning the basics of photography. I studied for like a year. It was almost a year before I even touched a camera. I learned the triangle, ISO, all about that, all about your shutter, and then I learned all about your aperture. And it might sound stupid, but that really helped me with my photography, learning that before I even touched a camera. I guess what really helped was YouTube, obviously, but when I was starting photography, Peter McKinnon was just starting on YouTube. I stumbled across his channel. He only had 3 videos on his channel. One was a vlog with his wife. I forget where they were, but they were like at a restaurant, and they were on vacation or something. Another one was he went to a gun range, and I don't know, I was watching Casey Neistat, and the whole vlogging thing I liked. And then I just kept watching Peter, and he kept putting more videos out, and I learned a lot. So definitely YouTube is the best place to go to learn, and I highly recommend watching Peter's early videos. It teaches a lot. But back to what we were talking about, definitely want to learn all the basics of photography. You're not going to 100% understand, but once you start actually using the camera and being able to do creative angles and whatnot, you'll get the hang of it, but it'll register more. And once you get out in the field, it's gonna click, and you're gonna be like, okay, yeah, I do this, move this, I understand it now. So definitely learn your basics before you go out and shoot. We talked about the basics, the camera, the lens. The next thing is your gear. I'm a gearhead. I will buy everything. I don't care. It's buy the gear you want. Don't have people tell you, don't get this, don't get that. But the most important things that you want to save up for and that you want to buy with your camera, you want good SD cards. Get good SD cards, get good hard drives. Filters, you definitely need a filter for your lens. It protects your glass and it really helps. So Polar Pro, they make the best filters. Definitely recommend. That's one of the first things you should get other than your SD card. Again, SD cards, hard drives, and your lens filters. Definitely need them. They're important, and they make a world of a difference when you got a good SD card that's fast. The next thing I would get is definitely an SD card reader. Put that in to your computer. I'm assuming you already have a computer, but even if you don't have a computer, you got a phone, you got Lightroom mobile, plug that in. Now, once you got your gear and you're doing jobs and you're doing a bunch of different photography, obviously you're gonna want to do, your family and friends are gonna be like, oh, take a picture of me, take some photos of me. You're probably gonna do a wedding or two because a friend knows that you're starting out in photography and goes, hey, you want to take pictures of my wedding? I highly recommend finding something that you like in the photography world and stick to it. Find your niche. You find your niche in something photography related, it will help big time. And say concert photographer, you did photography at your local venue and you really like it, stay with it. Keep going and do as good as you can. This will make you better known in that genre of photography. There's so many areas of photography. You got portraits, you got concert photography, wedding photography, boudoir photography, nature photography. It just keeps going on and on and on. It's like the music industry. I'm not saying don't dabble in other stuff. It's always good to be well versified. And let's face it, even though we hate weddings, that's where the money is, weddings. So figure out where you want to go in photography and stay that way and stay focused on it. Because you don't want your social media page, your Instagram page, to be scattered with all kinds of different photography, because people are not gonna really know what you do other than just take photos. So if someone's looking up, oh, I want a concert photographer, and they go to ABC and they go to their web page or their Instagram page, and it says they're a concert photographer, but all it is a bunch of weddings and a birthday and some random person, they're gonna be like, what's this? And then they'll see concert photography down here and then more weddings, and they're gonna be like, okay, well, this other guy was all concert photography. So you definitely want to stay with the niche that you're in. Now that we're speaking about jobs, when you start out, do free jobs, do free shoots, go out there, offer free shoots as much as you can, because that will allow you to build a portfolio. And once you get your portfolio building, people are gonna see that, and then you'll be able to use your portfolio as examples for when you're posting your ads and stuff. So definitely do free shoots. Don't be scared to do free shoots. I still do free shoots. It's what you gotta do sometimes. You gotta do free shoots, build that portfolio up, and then you got your portfolio you can pull examples from. One thing I would do differently if I was starting photography again in 2025 instead of 2017 and whenever, I would just pick up my camera, go outside, and start shooting. My problem was I was scared and I didn't know how to talk to clients or how to offer my services to people. I just sat around and I waited until someone asked for photos, and I went, hey, I do photos. If I was starting in 2025, I would definitely just go out there, start taking photos, and not be scared. An important part of photography is the community. You definitely want to be able to build a community and find a community to put yourself in. So I highly recommend, if you're starting photography here in 2025, start a YouTube channel at the same time. It will help you with your journey of learning photography, and it'll bring more people in. And not every comment's going to be a hate comment, but there will be comments that they will give tips and advice to you. Be active on your socials. Start a YouTube. Be active on your Instagram, Facebook. It's going to help you, and there's a lot of knowledge out there from other people that you can gain from it. There's no cheat code to photography. I don't have the answers. I'm still trying to grow my accounts. I feel like my photos are good. I can keep learning, and that's what photography is. You're gonna keep learning. Every time you go out and do a photo shoot, you're gonna learn something new. Every time you hit that button, you're gonna learn something new. So there's no set cheat code. There's no set rule on how to be a photographer. Just go out there, push the button, do photo shoots, do street photography, whatever you want to do, go do it, and don't hesitate. Just make content. Thank you for watching. I hope this helped a little bit to anybody who's trying to figure out photography or deciding if they want to get into photography. Just go out there, do it, and keep watching YouTube videos. Keep watching my channel. Go ahead, subscribe to it. Like this video, like my other videos if you want. And I'm gonna keep making videos that hopefully I can teach you what I learned. And yeah, so go ahead, please subscribe to my Instagram, Follow me on Facebook. Again, thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Peace.